All too often it's a friend, loved one, or co-worker. Dysfunction is mainstream, seen throughout the workplace. Then why not recovery? But we must go beyond. Depression is mounting as people fear another economic crash. Who isn't in need of help to deal with that? OCD used to be called eccentricity or superstition. It's now a disorder manifested by millions. Unmanageable lives are surfacing for people unable to deal with life on life's terms. There are as many reasons as there are people. Maybe you're recovering from a bad date, a lost job, unemployment running out, the real estate busts, corporate downsizing, a hangover, an addicted mother, too many trips to the track, your recent divorce, your parents' divorce, the trauma of your childhood, or whatever else. To be sure, mark this, we're all recovering from something. Can you identify? I'm a recovering Catholic. I'm a recovering grammar school student, recovering high school student, recovering altar boy, recovering adult child of an alcoholic mother. I'm recovering from an inferiority complex, as well as a recovering egomaniac. I'm recovering from being a lawyer, an Amway distributor, an alcoholic, a marijuana smoker, a poor son, a spiritually dead part of the problem. I'm fighting daily cigarettes, anorexic tendencies, overdosing on TV, panic, and fear. I've even had to struggle with certain computer addictions. How many millions are there right now? Are you there right now? I've watched youth come to meetings to get relief from addiction to video games. The papers last month said new surveys show that there's a tremendous amount of computer addiction. Can you see how this is true? We're all recovering from something. The cost in waste to human life cry out for something to be done. And that is part of the total eligibility. Right before my eyes, I've seen America lose its sense of self. America needs to recover its Americanism. What made us great was unique. Our greatness needs to be rekindled. We need to recover that concern for each other and the thought of the general welfare that commentators marveled at years ago. We need to recover our optimism, indeed the audacity of hope. If it takes a village, it should at least be one thinking clearly. If a strong national will is a prerequisite to face our foes, terrorist or otherwise, then a united front of patriotism based on truth, justice, and love needs recovery. Whether we qualify for some individual 12-step group or not, we're all part of a human family that needs healing from the scars of war, division, unrest, and economic injustice. For many, the call to walk through recovery is a patriotic duty. The best domestic defense is a renewal of purpose to form a strong national will, to prepare us for all that we face. Whether it be from an axis of evil to the simple, bitter truth of personal dysfunction. My prepared remarks have ended. I wish to speak to you personally about more important issues. Are you suffering from abuse? Have you been abused? Are you suffering in some way from something that brings you down, that causes you to go to the doctor, need shock treatments, need medication? You're a person in recovery, and like just all the rest of us in America, you're in need of help. Where can that help come from? In 1935, Dr. Bob Smith and Bill Wilson, a businessman, sat down with some of their friends and came up with 12 steps of recovery. It was originally designed to deal with the issue of alcoholism. They dealt with low-bottom drunks, they're called, people who are on the street drinking out of the brown paper bag, checking into the detox hospitals, and etc. Over 73 years later, we have a completely different situation. It used to be that you'd hide your mother drinking at breakfast. Now you show her on The Surreal Life. Then you'll see her later in celebrity rehab. Dysfunction has gone mainstream, folks, and we need something to equip ourselves to deal with it. The steps of recovery that started in a church basement have moved throughout the decades to the place to where now they're right before us and used as part of scripts on TV shows. Those steps of recovery are available for us to address these issues as we walk America through the steps of recovery. Last but not least, why am I here making this plea to you to walk with me through these steps. Who are you? Well, my best qualification for being the man for the occasion is the fact that at the age of 50, I was in reform school. I was sent as a part of a probation to a place called Spectrum House that I came to find was in Westboro, Mass, on the campus of what had been the first reform school in the United States of America. Can you picture this? You're sitting there in the cafeteria on a Sunday, and you're waiting for your 80-plus-year-old parents to come and visit their only surviving child, their number one son. And my best thinking had put me in reform school. Over the last 6 years, I think I've made a bit of a comeback. And over the course of 56 years, acquired enough experience to be the man qualified and capable to lead us in this adventure. I've had to recover from a great many things, and I'm still struggling with many more. But I do know this: I'm unblackmailable. There's nothing that could be brought out about me that I couldn't face. I feel like the old Errol Flynn movie. Much could be said of me, a great deal of it true. But even my enemies know that I not invent the truth to evade the consequences of my own actions. I'm more than willing to sacrifice my anonymity, my privacy, and let people know of my problems in an effort to get you, in the privacy of your living room, to go through these steps of recovery to help address your problem and your issue. Coming soon, right after this, is a program called Life is Worth Living. I hope you'll enjoy it. Thank you very much. As you can see, we make a case for recovery. What we're trying to do in this last video is highlight something that most people aren't talking about. I saw a show on ABC last year that talked about the proliferation of social networks, how young 14-year-olds and under were living in a world of their own. When we had visions last year of having a television, internet TV show, or internet TV network even, we filmed some editorials. And this is what you're going to now see, an editorial highlighting the problems with this virtual reality. It's a present danger because it exists now, and it'll only get worse unless it's dealt with. In short, none of these problems that we're highlighting are going to be able to be solved or addressed unless we stop and think. We're not telling you what to think. Like I said, on the radio, if you check out our archived radio shows, we have a fairness doctrine balance. My partner, Tim Horton, is an ordained pastor. He's a red state thinker. He's a Republican stalwart. I'm a card-carrying member of the ACLU, and I'm a purple. I live in Massachusetts. But in terms of the fairness, it's quite fair to say that there are dangers afoot, particularly with the young, and we need to do something about it. Check out this video, Virtual Reality, a Present Danger. I think it'll highlight something you may not have stopped and thought about.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a continuation of our editorials from Stop and Think TV, addressing certain issues that we'll be attempting to provide coverage of in the days ahead. Virtual reality, is that a present danger? With the adoption of the internet and the social networks, what you have now is the capacity of 12 and unders to live in a reality of their own, outside of parental influence or supervision. It's a world they prefer, of course, because it's unlimited in the imagination. Anything goes, there is no judgment. You can share whatever you feel like, and somebody out there in the internet ether will relate and respond. And it gives them a sense of comfort, and it gives them a sense of power. Power over their parents. That they, although youngsters, know something that the parents don't know. What happens as they get older? They hit puberty, become self-conscious, and rebellious and defiant, like all teenagers do. And they take this empowering that they've received through the virtual reality that they and their friends of their own age live within. And what? I don't know. That's what the future holds. Because when these people start to become of age, what grasp on reality will they have? Stop and Think TV, trying to provide news under an umbrella of recovery, would say that what we need to do is to recover our sense of responsibility as parents. Children would need to recover their sense of wonder over nature and things non-technological? And most importantly,